unfortunately, it sounds really harsh, but the answer is if you're asking, it's probably already too late because the mentality is just do it.
So basically, I would love to talk to you a little bit more about casting in general. So basically, what did you learn as a caster and like your career so far?
That's a big question. I think review is kind of like the first thing. So many people reach out to casters and they always ask, how do you get into casting or where do you start? And unfortunately, it sounds really harsh, but the answer is if you're asking, it's probably already too late because the mentality is just do it. Like you just slam like the Nike slogan and logo back on them. I know every single caster that I came up with, I used to work with Pyrotechnics and Dracos, Rusty, Spawn, all of those guys before they kind of became big established names. Papa Smithy was over in Oceania. And it was always this mentality of just like the grind, like every single day. I used to get up super early, like 4 a.m. to cast Europe when I lived over in North America because of the time difference, and then cast Go for lulz, go to work, come back, and cast the LPL until early morning, and then just like go to bed and do it over and over again. And it's never good because I don't think esports, like that's not a successful model for people to like thrive. You want to make sure that there's infrastructure and roadmaps that people can climb up the scenes. And now that feels a lot healthier, especially for casting. You can apply to be a shoutcaster now. But the fact of the matter is you just got to put in the reps sometimes. And you just have to like load up a game, grab a mic, and then just start doing it repeatedly.
So basically, despite the ambition you just mentioned, what do you think makes a good caster?
I think the synergy and teamwork, especially in a Riot infrastructure, it's always going to be different depending on what esports and what kind of team you're focusing in. But being a Riot League of Legends caster, a lot of it is about how you work in a team. No caster is making decisions by themselves. We have like a North Star, we all agree on it, we argue about it all the time, and then once it's set in stone, we're constantly bouncing off of each other. The mentality is never... Your mentality should always be whatever caster is standing next to you. If I have Vedi and Medic standing next to me in a TriCast, it's my job just to make them look as good as possible and their job to make me look as good as possible. Because if everyone looks good, we all look awesome, and it's making a strong product as opposed to thinking like, gotta get my point across, gotta make sure that I look like the smartest analyst. Like we constantly are trading information.
What do you think is like one of the most important parts when you cast yourself?
I think something that amateur casters fall into a trap of is, again, like these trust falls, because a lot of the solo casting or amateur casting experiences is that they don't have a partner that they trust, or they don't have a consistent partner, so they'll have a lot of different ones. So it does kind of become like the me show, where they'll run into other casters, or they'll talk over them, or they won't have a good flow and kind of hold the mic for a little bit too long. Hand signals are really important. If you ever get to see casters cast live, we're constantly pointing like this, gesturing. This means like I gotta talk right now. This means cut it off. And each caster will have like a different system about how they do it, but we all establish like a known vocabulary, and it's these invisible hand signals on air that make sure that everything's flowing really nicely and you have inbuilt synergy.